Ever wondered where borders get weird? From cities split by walls to unique land swaps, these bizarre borders will leave you speechless. Welcome to Top 10 Bizarre Borders Between Countries. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more jaw-dropping travel facts. Let's dive in. Borders between countries are often defined by geography, politics, or historical agreements. But some international borders are so strange, unusual, and downright bizarre that they challenge our conventional understanding of boundaries. Whether it's due to peculiar historical events, convoluted geography, or political quirks, these borders make for intriguing and, at times, surreal destinations. Here's a look at the top 10 bizarre borders between countries. 10. The Diomed Islands, USA and Russia. The Diomed Islands, located in the Bering Strait, are an intriguing example of a bizarre border. These two islands, Big Diomede, Russia, and Little Diomede, USA, are situated just 2.4 miles apart. Despite their proximity, they exist on opposite sides of the international date line, meaning that while they're physically close, they are separated by 24 hours. One island is a day ahead of the other. Big Diomede is part of Russia, while Little Diomede is part of Alaska, USA. The border that divides these islands is, in effect, not just geographical, but also temporal. This oddity has led to the islands being referred to as tomorrow and yesterday. 9. The Barle-Hertog and Barle-Nassau, Belgium and the Netherlands. The town of Barle is located on the border between Belgium and the Netherlands, but the border here is incredibly complex, with an intricate patchwork of territories. These enclaves create a confusing and bizarre situation where the borders are drawn through houses, streets, and even individual rooms. Residents must often deal with different laws, currencies, and tax rates, depending on which part of the border they live in, making it one of the most unusual and confusing borders in the world. 8. The Haskell Free Library and Opera House, USA and Canada. This unique border is found in the Haskell Free Library and Opera House, which straddles the border between Canada and the USA. Located in Stansted, Quebec and Derby Line, Vermont, the building's entrance is in the USA, but the library and opera house itself sit in Canada. This means that if you are inside the building, you're technically in both countries at the same time. The library has two doors. One leads to the USA and the other to Canada, and the border line runs through the middle of the building, right through its theater seats and bookshelves. 7. The Lake of the Woods, USA and Canada. The Lake of the Woods is a large, sprawling body of water in Minnesota, USA and Ontario, Canada. What makes this lake's border especially bizarre is that the international boundary line runs right through the water, creating a complex network of islands and channels with borders cutting through them. In total, there are over 14,000 islands in the lake, and some islands are split between two countries, making them subject to both Canadian and American laws. 6. The International Space Station, Multinational Border. The International Space Station, ISS, isn't a traditional border between two countries, but it certainly qualifies as a bizarre example of shared international territory. As the ISS continuously orbits Earth, it crosses over multiple national borders every 90 minutes. While astronauts aboard the ISS don't deal with national laws on Earth, the space station's odd, multinational nature creates an inter-country jurisdictional paradox that's never before been encountered on such a grand scale. 5. The Panmunjom Truce Village, North Korea and South Korea. One of the most heavily guarded and bizarre borders in the world is the Korean Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, which separates North Korea and South Korea. At Panmunjom, the two countries meet in a joint security area where diplomats and soldiers face each other across a table, separated by a simple line on the ground. This line marks the division between two countries technically still at war, as the Korean War ended in an armistice, not a peace treaty. Visitors can take tours into the Truce Village, where soldiers from both sides stand face to face, and the eerie quiet of the area makes the border feel incredibly tense. 4. The 49th Parallel, USA and Canada. The 49th parallel is a border that stretches from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, separating the United States from Canada. It is unusual because, in many places, this border runs straight across the landscape, cutting through forests, fields, and even cities. The most bizarre part of the 49th parallel border is in Point Roberts, Washington, where a small American community lies entirely south of the Canadian border, making it accessible only through Canada. Residents must cross the border to travel to other parts of the United States, creating logistical challenges for the community. 3. The Bertol, Egypt and Sudan. The Bertol is a strange unclaimed desert area that sits between Egypt and Sudan, measuring about 2,060 square kilometers, 795 square miles. What makes this region bizarre is that it's a terra nullius, meaning no country claims it. The border between Egypt and Sudan was established in 1902, but due to a mix-up in the delineation of borders, this area was inadvertently left out of both countries' claims. No one wants it because it's barren, inhospitable, and uninhabitable. 2. The Nicosia Green Line, Cyprus. The Green Line in Nicosia, Cyprus, divides the capital of the island into two parts, one controlled by the internationally recognized Republic of Cyprus and the other by the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, which is only recognized by Turkey. This border is unique because it cuts directly through the city, separating not only communities but also entire neighborhoods. The line was established in 1974, following Turkey's invasion after a Greek coup. The border remains highly militarized, and the city itself is divided by walls, abandoned buildings, and watchtowers. 1. The Pak Strait, India and Sri Lanka. The Pak Strait is a narrow body of water separating the southeastern coast of India from the northeastern coast of Sri Lanka. While the Pak Strait itself isn't a border in the traditional sense, it is home to the bizarre and mysterious Adams Bridge, also known as Rama's Bridge. This series of natural limestone shoals connects India and Sri Lanka, and its historical significance has made it the subject of both scientific and religious debates. Some believe that this bridge, which is barely above sea level, was man-made, while others see it as a natural formation. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thanks for watching.